Welcome, welcome everybody. Welcome back to the symposium, Awakening to Humanity's Sacred Mission, an international symposium and call to action. And boy, have we had some amazing calls to action these last three sessions, this last day and a half. And this is session 4, which is devoted to a subject I know is so close to everybody's hearts in this community and around the world, now perhaps more than ever, and that is peacemaking. And together with the co-host today, John Raymer, we've assembled an extraordinary global collection of peacemakers who are living the work of actually bringing peace and bestowing peace in their communities and around the world. So it's going to be a really rich and, again, interactive session. We're going to be having the visionary voices for the next hour or so, and then into the community engagement room, into the participants room for more interactivity, engagements, calls to action as we take action together collectively, get on board. It's amazing to see people joining One World, joining the Hollow Movement, getting into the connection field, taking action. And we're going to have a lot more about that today. There's so much to share and so much to get into. So let's go back and let's keep this golden thread flowing forward. Dr. Julie Krull has been doing these beautiful syntheses at the start of every session. Now there's 3 sessions that have gone before us, Julie. So these syntheses just get even richer. But welcome back to session 4, Dr. Julie Krull, Good of the Whole and the Connection Field. Julie, where are we up to?
Oh, thank you, Ben. You know, it was really fun. Like last night's session, I did in the morning, like I did it. And I had these beautiful daylight hours to do today's. And it was just a really profound experience for me to go through the notes and really land this. So hopefully you all enjoy this little recap. But first, I'll invite you all to take a few conscious, heart-filled breaths with me. And bring your awareness into this present moment. Bring your whole self into this room, into the symposium, into presence with us. In session 1, we explored humanity's sacred mission, and we began with one big breath. We talked about the big breath instead of the big bang. And Jude Currivan invited us to all breathe as one, to breathe the one big breath and connect that with a little breath. So take a few breaths, because we invite you to bring your awareness into your heart space throughout this entire symposium. And as you allow that big breath to breathe you, we all come into greater coherence together. We will make a larger impact on the planet. We're building a unitive field. So take that big breath and allow that big breath to breathe all of us into synchronicity, into coherence. And listen to this poem from David Lorimer. It's called The Golden Thread. Setting out from afar, we are tasked to undertake a journey, to follow our golden thread into the labyrinth of life. Wandering along, we look out for something when first we need to look inside for stillness. Content in silence within, we can proceed with a surer step along the path, present in and to the moment. Sometimes we simply stumble, we lose the thread, forgetting who we are and where we're going. Just wait and trust. Don't think, don't stress, don't rush around. Listen to the quiet voice of your heart, the heart that knows, the heart that deeply feels. Only then can the golden thread appear, and in no time you'll find yourself at home in the center of the labyrinth of life and love. So we all here encourage you to continue to breathe and return to your heart throughout our session today. Consciously weave your golden thread with one another in community. And for a synthesis of where we've been so far, in session 1, we learned that humanity's sacred mission is all about unity, love, and consciousness. There's a coherent evolutionary process of wholeness in motion. That coherent evolutionary process is us and created us. In session 2, we pulled the golden threads of unity, love, and consciousness into implementation. One theme that wove through all of the visionary voices was an encouragement to bring nature and the sacred into all of our solutions, all of our vocations, all of our daily moment by moment choices, from food production to business, money and economics to policy and governance. We must be in right relationship with the planet to serve humanity. And in session 3, we pulled the golden threads of implementation forward to synergize for change. The common theme for the session was a recognition. There's an evolutionary impulse calling us together to gather and organize. There's a global movement towards synergizing organizations, communities, and networks of networks for greater coherence. We explored a unitive worldview, heart-based partnerships, empowerment, coherence, innovation, and a new narrative. We recognized that there's a superpower on the planet, and it is us. It really is all of us in motion, wholeness in motion. We are embodied extensions of the superorganism that is life. It's time to synergize and develop our dormant and evolutionary capacities. In communities of practice, we become a more coherent expression of the whole. We also relax into the knowing that we indeed are sacred. Only through synergy and coherence will we reach our evolutionary potential. So here's a few tips from our voices, our visionary voices. Align your work with what you love. Be in joyful service. Innovation comes from coherence and divine integration. Be inspired by unexpected people. Only in wholeness can you step into your superhuman capacities. Embodiment is the result of synergy with the unified field of everything. Attune your mind to the divine and live in heart-centered gratitude. And an invitation to invoke other levels of being. We can't make this transition alone. One more. More than a sacred mission, consider this a sacred commission. And to close, let's set the tone for this session today about peace, peacemaking, with the words of Ervin Laszlo in the opening session. He said, "Something new is emerging." I said that really funny with my Western drawl there. I'm going to start over. Something new is emerging, and it starts within each one of us.
Something new is emerging indeed. Julie, absolutely beautiful. Thank you for doing this at the top of every session. It really helps keep that golden thread and all the beauty and the wonder and the wisdom that has been shared in those 3 sessions we carry with us forward into today. And with my co-host today, maybe he's honorary doctorate coming, John, perhaps, is John Raymer from the Compassion Games and Sign Network and One World. And brother, this has just been amazing so far. Session 4, I know we're really excited about getting into it, but there's just something around the timing of this symposium and this idea of awakening to humanity's sacred mission, which has resonated so strongly across the field. John, tell us a little bit about how you're feeling as we get into today.
Well, this symposium is right in the middle of the MLK 40 Days of Peace. So this is no accident, I guess, because Brother Phil is the chairman of the Compassion Games. And Pato and Antoinette, and Pato's music in particular, not only for years have we been supporting each other and stand up for justice, which is what Antoinette's been up to, but Pato's the person I go to when I say, we want to make people aware of the genius of Dr. King. And he went and wrote that song, and then we were there for his birthday this year. So this And Phil and David got together during this. So we had a session during the MLK Weekend of Service that's brought the genius of Peace on Earth by 2030 as a social change game together with Brother Phil and the coming together of the tribes. I mean, this is a moment to really emerge something amazing that actually can bring peace to the earth right now. You said before it's probably the most important. I wouldn't say probably. I'd say, oh my God, the state of the world. We are escalating war. And what Patricia said to me when we talked about Dr. King, she reframed his work on nonviolence into peacemaking. So that's what we're here to do. Let's name it. Let's bring forth peace on earth now. So grateful to everyone's presence.
Fantastic, John. Let's get into it. Thank you so much, brother, for pulling this together. And you mentioned Chief Phil.